I think people who don't play video games are losers, and their hobbies are just a complete waste of time. I don't like being negative, but society has been criticizing us gamers for so long. It's time we clap back and give them a taste of their own medicine. Society thinks that gaming is some loner, antisocial behavior. Their idea of normal social behavior is going to bars and clubs, getting drunk, wasting tons of money on alcohol, destroying your liver and your health. I haven't even talked about the most laughable part of their logic yet, which is that they'll tell you gaming is antisocial. Because even though social multiplayer games exist, you're not talking to people in real life. Yet, these same people literally need to ingest alcohol, a toxic substance, to be able to hold a conversation. And this is why I'm starting to think gamers are the most hated group of people in society today. This might sound like a controversial take, but it really isn't if you think about it. Sure, there are other groups out there that face hate and discrimination, but you get called out and cancel it if you criticize them. Not only is it acceptable to hate and demonize gamers, this hate is actually encouraged by society. I can't say that for any other group of people. It's 2024, and you can't criticize even the craziest lifestyle choices out there. Just the other day, I saw a woman who identifies as a dog, and you literally can't criticize this without being canceled. If even this is acceptable, it's time we ask, why is gaming the only lifestyle choice you're allowed to criticize? Why is gaming so disrespected? I swear, gaming gets the most hate out of any hobby or activity. I remember playing for 2 or 3 hours a day as a teenager, and my mom constantly criticizing me for quote-unquote being addicted to games. The hilarious irony of it all is that right after she said this, she would proceed to waste 8 hours a day binge watching pointless shows on Netflix. And that's how most people who criticize gaming are. They'll lecture you about gaming being a waste of time, and then proceed to waste their own time binge-watching Breaking Bad for the 100th time, or scrolling through a bunch of meaningless content on Instagram, or being super invested in a sports team that doesn't care about them. I think the real reason is because, unlike other forms of entertainment, games actually require you to put mental effort and interact with it. And the people who hate it are just too lazy to do that. More proof that video games is better than school. I've traveled over 20 countries in my life, and along the way I noticed a very interesting trend. The best English speakers I've met by far were not some highly educated English majors, but actually young adults and teenagers who simply learned English from playing video games. I remember growing up foreign language classes in school being so boring and uninspiring. No one really learned anything from them. After I noticed this trend, I went back and replayed some of my favorite games with foreign language settings, and I quickly learned several foreign languages myself. It was way more effective than school. How many of you learned English through video games? My parents kept pressuring me to quit playing video games and do something productive like go to uni. So I went to uni, and this was what I saw more than anything. Very productive, right? What was more ironic is that those same exact people thought gaming was some weird loser activity. So let me get this straight. Gaming is weird. But drinking until you puke, getting into fights, getting into trouble with the cops, and damaging your liver at a young age is normal? Someone please explain the logic to me. Dude, you're 30. Why do you still play video games? Bro, it's because I play video games in my 30s that I'm happy and healthy while you're broke and miserable. Gaming is probably the most financially friendly hobby that an adult can have. While you're spending thousands every month traveling, having kids, buying fancy clothes you don't need, I can have all the entertainment I need in a new game for just $50 a month. Even less than that if I find a good game on sale. So instead of telling me to stop playing video games, maybe you should stop all these pointless and expensive hobbies yourself. Society has always looked down on gamers as losers, so today, gamers strike back. Video games can hurt social maturity. Meanwhile, grown people are screaming and throwing tantrums when their sports team doesn't win every week. You'd have to be a nerd to memorize all the rules of football too, but you'll never be considered one. My mom used to blame so many of my problems on video games, and I eventually just flat out told her, "You can't blame my hobby of video games on my poor mental health when I'm pushed to the limit everywhere else." Normies. Video games are a waste of time. Also, normies. Did you see what Hot Dog Lip Lady said to Hot Dog Lip Lady 2 on Celebrity Bachelor Wife Swap Island last night? As a gamer, I can confirm we deserve absolutely no respect. but that will not stop me. Why young men are choosing video games over dating. Unlike playing the modern dating game, a man can actually win at playing video games. I used to date. Been married before. That life was nothing but headaches and empty wallets. Getting over the idea of needing a romantic partner was the best choice I ever made. I'm coming up on 9 years of not even looking. Couldn't be less stress-free. I go to work, focus on work, leave, take part in hobbies, sleep, repeat. Real Chads go this routine. Study, work, workout, eat, gaming, sleep. Repeat. Video games. Hours, if not days, of fun and adventure. Dating. Being broke and constantly annoyed. Cost-benefit analysis. Women have priced themselves out of the game. Gamers are destroying the economy? That's what this economist thinks. Watch as he gets gloriously destroyed in the comments. The slaves are unmotivated to keep working. Slave owners baffled. What do you mean, LOL? Video games are one of the reasons I keep working. They don't fall out of the sky. I pay for them. Yes, it's only men who aren't working. Definitely only men. They're one of those same people who welcome women staying home, pumping out kids, as if it's their only purpose in life. Didn't the Fed say we need unemployment to reduce inflation? Isn't it a good thing if people are leaving the workforce? Even NPC tasks are better than gig economy jobs. You should move out of your parents' house and stop playing video games. Well, here's the problem. My parents' house that you want me to move out of only cost them $50,000 to buy. Compared to salaries back then, they only had to work 4 years to be able to afford a whole friggin' house. Today, that same house costs 10 times as much, while salaries aren't that much higher, relatively speaking. In fact, I would have to work 20 years to be able to afford the same house that my parents only had to work 2 years for. But hey, maybe if I wasn't so lazy, I could learn how to magically bend time, work 240 hours a day, and close this 20-year gap, right? So, yeah, it's easy for you to say just move out and get your own place when it was literally 10 times easier for you to do so. Is dating worth it in 2024? Or should you just stay home and play video games? 10 years ago, this would have been considered a joke, but today, it's actually a serious question. Your parents and the government want you to go out, get married, and have kids. But at the same time, they created economic conditions that make it quite impossible to do that. They also want you to be financially responsible. So I ask, what is more responsible? 60 euros on a new game? Or 20,000 euros for a wedding? 1,000 euros on a gaming PC? Or 200,000 euros to raise a child? The government and the older generation really screwed over the economy. If you're one of the lucky few who has a job, you have to manage your money very carefully. And I'm just not sure if dating is the best way to do that. But I'm just asking questions here. What do you guys think? No, I will not get a job. No, I will not stop playing video games. You can call me lazy for not wanting to work, but you'd be a moron who doesn't understand reality. No one in human history ever wanted to work. But they did so because in the past, the economy was good, and there was reasonable incentive to do so. That incentive straight up doesn't exist anymore. Every job these days pays garbage wages and wants 50 years of experience for a BS entry-level position. This comment put it brilliantly. Job pays $15, no health benefits, taxes take $6, your rent is $1,500 for a small bedroom with 5 roommates. Why bother? The only disagreement I have is that jobs don't even pay $15 now, but the rest is spot on. Being great at video games is as remarkable as being a great athlete, doctor, or lawyer. In fact, in some ways, it's even more remarkable. Gaming is the one field in which you truly have to earn your success. You can make in other fields over someone who deserved it more. Rich parents, politics, luck. Those things all play a role in being successful at other things. Not when it comes to video games. If you want to go pro, you have to actually be good enough to go pro. It doesn't matter if Faker is your best friend. If you want to make diamond, you actually have to be a diamond-skilled player. You can't just have rich parents who pay for you to get diamond. Even if you don't play competitively and just want to beat a challenging single-player game like Elden Ring, you still have to actually earn it and do it on your own. Society, and especially older people, love to criticize video games and call it a waste of time. So I have a question for them. How is watching TV, watching Netflix, arguing about sports, mindlessly scrolling through Instagram, and all the things they love to do, not also a massive waste of time? In fact, I could easily make an argument that it's a far bigger waste of time than gaming. At least with games, you actually have to mentally interact with your environment. This teaches you a lot of very valuable psychological skills, such as problem-solving, patience, decision-making, and much more. A lot of things I learned from gaming have translated to real-life success. I can't say the same thing about watching TV, Netflix, sports, or any of the other things society thinks is normal. Those things are actually a complete waste of time. You're not even doing anything yourself, you're just watching other people do things. The older generation thinks video games and technology have made us lazy. But the problem is, there's a massive hole in their logic that they don't even realize. The entire point of technology is to allow people to be lazy. Do you go to the grocery store to buy food? Well then, you're lazy. Past generations actually had to go out and hunt wild animals. Do you drive a car? Well then, you're lazy. Past generations had to walk everywhere. Have you ever taken an airplane? Well then, you're lazy. Past generations had to build an entire ship and sail for months to get to a foreign country. Did you build your own house that you live in? No? Well then you're lazy, because the cavemen certainly had to do that. The media is constantly demonizing young men for playing video games. They always ask, why are young men gaming more and working less? This, however, is the wrong question to ask. The correct question they should ask is, how did we create such a miserable society where there's no point of working? Seriously, you're the ones who created this awful world we live in. The economy is screwed, it's impossible to find a job, living expenses continue to skyrocket out of control. And yeah, when you create such horrible economic conditions, of course, I'd rather just stay home and play games. I have a message for the media that always tries to shame us. We don't owe society anything. If you want us to contribute to society, then create a society that's worth contributing to. Don't ask me to get a job after you screwed up the economy so bad that it's impossible to even get a job. Society thinks gamers are losers, but the truth is, society is the real loser. Today, gamers rise up. Critical person. What a loser, you like Dungeons and Dragons. Also critical person. We made it to the Super Bowl. I knew if I wore my lucky jersey while watching the game and drowning myself in alcohol that we would win. Bingo. It's cringe AF, especially grown men wearing other grown men's jerseys. The fans. Huge yikes. If gaming is a waste of time, sports are too. Any form of entertainment is too. Heck, why don't jobs lose meaning too? And life itself? Aren't the enjoyable moments in life the thing we live for? It's actually ironic most of the people saying video games are a waste of time have their whole careers based around wasting your time.